there, welcome back to Coffee and Questions. It's actually the afternoon here, and I normally record these with a coffee in the morning. It's the afternoon here, so we're actually doing LaCroix with questions this time. One of the things that's been coming up a lot today on Facebook and in a lot of the questions that customers are asking us is, folks suggesting that, well, rather than going through the hassle of building a permanent dwelling, then why not just put a mobile home on the property and live in that? Isn't that easier? So I wanted to really clear some things up on that. And what I'm going to refer to is the actual ordinance from the California Department of Housing and Community Development, what they think about this from an ordinance and from a legal perspective, because that's really what the issue is. So really, first of all, the definition and what the options are and what we're talking about when it comes to trailer homes or RVs and so forth. But ultimately, the way they define RVs or park trailers is basically anything on wheels, as far as it's described here. It could be towed, or it could move under its own power and so forth. But ultimately, it's any of the units that move around on wheels, really. What they state is that these are not intended for occupancy as a permanent dwelling. And unless otherwise permitted by local ordinance, they may only occupy mobile home parks and special occupancy parks governed by the Mobile Home Parks Act. So what that means is that the only place that you can actually live in a mobile home or a park model or a park trailer is actually in these designated places, and living permanently in one of these units on residential property is not permitted at the state level. It does say that unless the local ordinance states differently. But we've had experience with a number of cities now, like 20 plus counties and cities that we've looked at the ordinance and the legislation around there, and not one of them permits this. So we haven't seen an example yet of where local ordinance differs from the state. So it's highly, highly unlikely that this would be permitted. As far as the what would happen if the local authority or HCD found out about this, what they're saying that they would do here is that if a structure that does not comply is sold, is offered for sale, leased, rented, or occupied as a residential structure, then local authorities or HCD can prohibit or terminate occupancies or mandate the correction of these violations. So if you imagine you have your family living in the unit, the local authorities are completely within their rights to come and ask you to terminate the occupancy, or more so, ask you to mandate that you correct any of the violations, which could be a very, very expensive exercise indeed. So on the other hand, Sonderpods we are categorized as factory-built houses. So yes, our units are built in a factory and transported to site, but they are built fully to the same code that conventional homes are built to. So therefore, when they are installed on site, they're installed on permanent foundations, fully connected to the utilities, and from that point forward, that they are conventional homes. They're built the same way as any other home. So therefore, that's the reason why you can live in a Sonderpod on a residential property where you can't do that with a mobile home. Hope that helps, and thanks for watching.